All right, guys, what's going on? GoofyRhexxi here, and I'm here with RemanX today. I wanted to talk about this subject. We were talking about it on stream, and I feel like it's good to have this conversation because with Ikaris and Sersi being released right now, I'm getting some mixed messages on how we feel about these two characters here, whether or not they're good for Marvel Strike Force right now, or are they not good for Marvel Strike Force. And I'm kind of in a position where I feel like it's good, but I feel like it's good because of where I'm at in the game right now, right? I'm obviously end game. I was super tired of Infinity Watch and just the Infinity Watch mirror matches, right? Yeah,
boredom, right? Boredom, monotony, just But again, it's not like we had Black Order for almost a year, so this is a nice break, right?
Yeah,
and so I think there's a couple pieces of the puzzle. I think that they're good and they're bad. And I'll finish the bad portion of this because we talked about that. I gave you kind of a hint of my thoughts about why they're in the game because I always joke about it. But we haven't seen the release method yet for Ikaris. It's still kind of hidden. Right. It's been data mined. It could very well be like a Shang-Chi or a Lady Deathstrike event. Yep. And those are the other player-friendly release method, that and campaign events, which is where Sersi was available. And so I think that they are good because if you're a new player, you have access to them. If you're a light spender, you've had access to them if you have the cores. If you can, depending on how Ikaris is there, you're going to have access to them. The problem comes down to how powerful they are as you max them.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing where a lot of people are I'm hearing muttering that people are frustrated by their red star pulls. Now I still have a 4 red, my team still wins because I just do the speed edge. But if you're facing like a 7 red star Sersi and Ikaris, just drop your drawers now.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if you're like me, you pull 4 red stars on both these characters. You're like, hey, the 4 red stars is good to start off with, but ideally you're probably going to want to get in the 5 and probably maybe even 6, especially for Ikaris, who's just doing so much damage right in the onset.
Ikaris has the most damage potential of a character in Arena that I've ever seen. Yeah. It's scary. We're seeing 1 million plus hits at like 5 red, 5 star. I mean, and that's insanity when you think about that Omega Red was that first character really crossed that threshold recently. And so that's a problem. But it isn't one that you're alone having. People are going to have this team. This team is going to be good in their. I've used them at 2.3. I hit auto.
Wow.
Okay, I use them. And
hold on. Where do you have your characters built up to right now? Like, how high do you have Sersi and Ikaris?
Yeah, so the cool part about it is I only had Sersi at G14 3 red 4 star, and I had Ikaris at 3 red 4 star G13, and was able to hit auto at the time.
And so you're doing 2.3, right? Like Doom 2. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Now that I actually built them up higher, I have to be very careful I don't trigger Doom on the boss node.
Right, because if you get them below that 50%, then it's lights out for pretty much basically.
They just do so much damage. It's insanity.
Yeah, that's insane. One of the things that I was thinking about, and I think one of the reasons why I am hearing mixed messages. So you're hearing mixed messages because of not being able to get higher stars on them. Mm-hmm. I'm hearing mixed messages because listen, we're content creators, right? We were able to get the Adam Warlock on first pass, so we kind of got the excitement, the initial excitement or not excitement or time frame of being able to use these teams, use them against each other, use them against heroes for hire. But they're players who just got Adam Warlock, right? Yeah. And they're starting to build up Adam Warlock now. And then here comes Ikaris and Sersi, who just delete Infinity Watch with the right comp around them. I mean, how are players like that supposed to feel when I feel like almost like, it kind of happened a little bit too quick, but also because of where I'm at in the game, I'm like, I was kind of tired of it, but there are some players like that. Like, how do you think that they're supposed to feel right now?
So let's talk about that, because I'm going to give you a little insight, and I've been talking to other content creators because I think it's time we started talking about grand tournament. And so a team like Infinity Watch is going to be an exceptional team in that game mode. They're still a phenomenal war team. They're going to be able to take out, one of the prime defenses, or potentially still be your heroes for hire counter if you play them correctly, have the, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that's the idea. Is the game's been kind of pushing us towards building a wider roster for a while.
Yeah.
And so this is literally the two things. First, this is how they fixed the Pimtech issue by making a Dark Dimension character also arena viable. Yeah. It's basically also it leans back to what they did with Symbiote Spider-Man. They made him a raid character and Dark Dimension.
Right.
They gave him double tags for a different mode, so they kind of let him be excellent in that category. But more importantly, the arena meta is going to constantly shift again, which was kind of the fun time and the magic time when we had Ultron.
Right.
So this is probably going to be like the best time. So if you're feeling frustrated, just know that those characters that you have, like Adam Warlock, are going to be what you're using to beat Dormammu. I'm 99% sure, based on the theory crafting, you're going to need that trauma to prevent Dormammu from just kicking your butt.
Oh, stun and trauma in order to be able to. Okay, yeah. Well, those are probably going to be the mainstay characters moving forward, right? You're going to have Dormammu eventually, then you're going to have Ikaris and Sersi, and it's going to basically be who are the other two characters, which I guess is kind of the exciting portion of this, is that there is theory crafting that's back right now, at least even before Dormammu, right? Because players are using Captain Sam. I've seen Shang-Chi. I've tried Shang-Chi and Omega Red. I had success with that. I'm seeing Emma now. So theory crafting is back now, or at least for a little bit, right? Moving forward. And until we get Dormammu, of course, where it's just going to be those three characters.
But I want you guys to remember, whenever Legendary Soup happens, there really isn't a defense that holds that well unless you have the 7 red star, unless you got hit lucky with stars. So that's the problem, is it becomes that, or you can, trick out that speed, so you always get that early speed boost. Yeah. And I think that's really the key, is to make sure these guys get a couple extra turns before your opponent goes.
Yeah, and then in the future, how does this bode well? So we talked about Grand Tournament, just not the same thing, but one of the issues that was brought up in chat is that we're starting to get these kits, right? Like these convoluted kits that are super strong, and then you have to create XYZ team to then literally specifically counter that team. Do you think that I still think that there's a little bit of an issue here with the power creep and the fact that they're creating these overpowered kits that then you have to create another overpowered kit to counter, which then of course leaves some of the meta a little bit behind. Like, look at a character right now like Silver Surfer. Do we think Silver Surfer is going to be a part of the arena meta after Dormammu was released, or he's probably going to get kicked to the curb, right? He kind of got kicked to the curb a little bit from the arena meta when Kestrel got released, right? And now in raids, here is Ikaris and Sersi. So you're going to be using new warriors now, Ikaris and Sersi. And where else are you going to use Silver Surfer? Should you even invest into Silver Surfer anymore? Is a question.
And the thing about it is, Silver Surfer came out when? It was March, right?
March, February, around that time, like right after the X-Men team, right?
Yeah, so March, right? Yeah. So that's kind of that whole time period, is how long is a character in the meta? And I don't think I think that with theory crafting like this, I don't think that he's out. Like, I still see him on defense right now in arena, and I still think he offers some additional value there. But here's the big but: how long do we want to get characters good for? Because we're the ones complaining that we're getting bored with the same stuff in arena. And so the problem with that is, if they build a whole team, we get bored, and boredom leads to the playground of disaster.
Yeah.
And
then if you don't create the kits to be strong enough, then how do you sell those characters, right? I'm assuming that's probably one of the things that they're thinking too, right?
Yeah. So I'm going to have a very, 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 very candid conversation. Since Skeletori, the teams have been fun. I think they've been fun to play. They've been fun to use, and they've been fun to play. Do I think the Infinity Watch versus Infinity Watch was fun in arena? No, but they were fun to play everywhere else.
Oh yeah,
they were fun.
Yeah.
You know, if you had a chance to get them, and before you took into Dark Dimension 4 and you built them up for your arena team, you got to take them into Dark Dimension 4 and get Doom, pitting auto.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing is you know, when they're building these kits where there's 2 or 3 components, it lends to theory crafting. You know, especially when the stronger characters are 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
And it also allows for, you know, more character to be brought in the game later on. And so at the end of the day, I think the most important thing about this is, are we going to see these guys in Dark Dimension 5? Did they make characters again? Like, so Pimtech was in Dark Dimension 5, and I always said this, they don't make characters for us. They make characters to use against us.
True.
We talked about Silver Surfer. Guess what, guys? Silver Surfer wasn't for us. Have you fought Silver Surfer in Doom? The Doom Raid?
Yeah, it's rough.
Is that fun?
It's rough.
Is that fun? No, it's not.
It's rough, dude.
They didn't design them for us. That's why they gave them to us at a discount. Here, 50 shards for $20. Congratulations. We're giving away the raid.
Yeah.
But guess what you're going to see? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, it is true. So I guess in conclusion, we're kind of still, we started off with mixed feelings, but I still think we're kind of still at mixed feelings, but little bit making more sense of it here, right? Yes, Infinity Watch is going to feel bad if you invested into him, if you just got Adam Warlock. However, grand tournament, man. Just, I'm telling you right now, we gotta start talking about that. Like, you know, if you don't have the chance, maybe we should, maybe you and I should download Star Wars Galaxy Heroes and look at that, and dig into what it looks like there, because it's going to be a similar game mode. There's a version of it in Dragon Champions. There's these tournaments where it's like your roster versus your opponents. So instead of it being like a war, it's your roster versus your opponents, and then that's the idea behind it is you know, what teams can you use? So there's a lot more theory crafting to that than you think, because, you know, do you put Infinity Watch on defense because your opponent can't do it? It's not like a time run. Yeah, you're going to lose bonuses. It's literally, you know, you got 24 to 48 hours to complete it, and do what you want, and then I think in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, you actually can, like, with your alliance mates, you can test with them, against their, anytime you wanted to, against their stuff, and you could stream that content all day. Okay. Yeah, so I'm not familiar with the game mode. I've never played Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, so I definitely got to look into it myself just to kind of get a little bit of an idea. I've more so heard you guys talk about it and kind of got a little bit of an idea. So yeah. So there will be a place for them. There's going to be a place, you know, for Silver Surfer. There's going to be a place for these other characters. Yes, it feels bad a little bit, right? If you're kind of at the tail end of getting Infinity Watch. However, if you gotta, I guess you gotta be impulsive, right, to take advantage of the opportunity that you get to get these new characters, to make sure that you're able to keep up with the meta. The Red Star portion, that's a whole separate conversation for a different time. Mm-hmm. We're not even going to talk about that.
We don't want to go down that route.
That's a whole other thing. But any final thoughts? Yeah, pretty much, essentially.
No, right. So I'm going to say this out loud. So I'm going to ask you a series of quick questions. So rapid fire. Here we go. Yeah. Would you recommend building these up if you had access to them as a new player?
Yes.
Would you recommend people buying them if they're light spenders?
Yes.
Would you recommend people wailing on them if they're Krakens?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Well, there you have it. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. But good conversation, good discussion. Want to know what you guys think about this, where you stand with Ikaris and Sersi. Are you excited for them? Do you feel as if though they're bad for the game? Do you feel like it's more of a symptom of the power creep and the power leap? Leave that in the comments, guys. Reman, appreciate you being on the channel. We gotta do this more often, man. I feel like we just do this randomly and pop up, but we gotta do this a little bit more often. I appreciate you being on the channel, brother. Just look at your Discord. I'm usually hanging out in there trying to get you to drag me up. That's fair. Don't tell my wife about me dragging you up. That might be a little problem. Well, let's see y'all. See you tomorrow from there. Later. Yes, sir. All right. Appreciate y'all. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe. Ooh, you know, we had two really deep voices on the mic here that made things really interesting. I'm hoping that you guys didn't get too moist while listening to that video. I'm sorry. It's bad to listen for me. You know, out there somewhere, somebody's like, "Oh yeah, there it is."